Hello, brother. Today we're going to talk about how to be a straight A student. So, I'm just going to class this as everything. So, this is going to be for my university experience where it's not even graded in A's. We're just going to count it as the blanket term of do good in all your exams, all your tests, all your subjects, whatever. Right? That you could be in college for this, in A levels, in primary school for all I care. It's going to be effective for everyone. It's basically going to be how to excel as a student. Now, I'm going to break it down into a few very, very important steps. Number one is going to be identify your real reasonings for this. Why do you want to be this good student? It sounds like a stupid question, but okay, why? For you, it's going to be okay. So let's say you're in college or university. Okay, it's get this grade to get into this uni to then get this job. Why do you want to get that job? Oh, because of this money. Oh, well, you could get it this way. Like, why this one? Really, I know this sounds stupid, but have you ever spent 5 or 10 minutes to actually sit down and write down on your phone or a notebook or anything, why do I want this and what's the exact reason? Because a lot of the time you'll find either you don't care, it's going to be a stupid reason like, oh, my parents want me to and I just feel like I'm supposed to. Well, if that is the case for you, then you're not going to be motivated. You need to find something else to motivate you. And and if this really is a genuine desire for you, by sitting down and writing it down, it's gonna be so much clearer, and you'll know exactly why you need to do every step and why every test is important, and that's gonna motivate you to a different level that you can't hit without this. Don't skip over this step. Don't think that you can just do it in your head. Literally, just set a 5 minute timer, write that, and if you go over it, just keep going. Write until you have every reason planned out step by step. Number two, I'm going to assume this is for long term things, right? So I'm going to break it down reasonings, long term improvement, short term improvement, and during the exam phase or during the project phase. So long term, even if you have exam coming up in a week, that's going to be useful for afterwards or it's just going to be very important. Long term, we're going to split it up into how our weekly goals of how much we're going to study and what. We're going to create a little study timetable. This can be done really, really simple. I know some schools do it. It's you just write out the date. It's you don't need some random planner or image online. Just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, blah blah blah, and three study slots. A study slot for you maybe 20 minutes. A study slot for you maybe an hour. Just how much can you study in a day? So I could study 3 hours, like deep studying. Don't don't bullshit yourself and think, oh yeah, oh I can study for 10 hours a day. So what is one slot for me over 3 hours? No, you cannot study for 10 hours a day. I'm talking studying, truly and genuinely deep work study. This I need to clear up fully. You thinking that you can sit there with your phone on the table buzzing, with the textbook there, a drink, notifications coming through, some music in the background, is studying. It is not. Even worse if you're the type of person that has a YouTube video or some Netflix series playing in the back, even if you just have it in the background for background noise. No, you cannot focus. Just scientifically proven through a million and one studies. I'm not here to cite them for you. Just trust me or don't. You have to, if you want to have deep work done, which is going to be so much more productive, effective for your learning and output, as opposed to shallow work, you have to have absolutely no notifications, no distractions, no sounds you need to be here. The one thing that allows rain sounds. I wouldn't even put lo-fi music. I literally would play rain sounds, bro, or wind sounds. If I had my window open during a thunderstorm type of thing, just have something to drown out any noise from my house. When you do this and you have a little ritual, mine is sit down, get water, turn this light on, clear desk, sit down with a plan, a goal at hand. That's the steps for you. Also, that's my dog in my room. I have 2 dogs, 2 cats, so there's a lot of house noises I was talking about. Now, once you have that written down, so you're gonna have the study table written down. Now we know what deep work is. Work without distractions, with an allocated time, and also importantly have a little ritual and little goal down. In this deep work session, I'm gonna record 2 YouTube videos about these topics. I've already recorded one. This is the second one. Then when I have another deep work session today, it's going to be okay. I'm going to do university work for this and this subtopic for an hour and 20 minutes, for example. Break it up like that. And break it up into the fact of, okay, this is my deep work. So, okay, I need to do 3 slots of this a day. The slots can be as long as you want, depending on your skill with this. It may be 20 minutes of deep work, but I would recommend, 40 minutes and up is probably the best way so you can really get into the depths of the topic. And all you need to do also for that, if you can't be asked to do like a longer study session, just think, I'm going to do the first 10 minutes, and then if I don't want to, I'll stop. And actually mean it. You will start studying for 10 minutes, and then if at the end of 10 minutes you genuinely are just not there, you're not focused, you can't be asked, just stop. Take a break, do something else, do some exercise, get some food, come back to it. That way our study sessions feel really easy to get into. There's no pressure behind them. Now when we're doing that 3 different times a day, do one in the morning, do one after school, do one in the evening. We're structuring our day like this, where now we have time to break all the lessons up. So on Monday, for example, I haven't done this for this, but this is just off the top of my head right now. I'm gonna say study Java, and then I'm gonna do a math slot, and then I'm gonna do a robotics slot on Monday. Then Tuesday I'll do 2 Java, 1 maths. I'm studying computer science, right? Do you see the method behind it? This way we can see, okay, how much time are we putting into each lesson? When are we gonna study, and for how long? By having it planned like this, you're making it accountable to yourself, so you know you're going to do it. It's already planned, so you're far more likely to do it. And you're also planning it correctly, so you're getting the correct, adequate enough time for each lesson. As a computer science student, 80% of it's going to be computer science, right? And 20% is going to be maths. Okay, so that means that 80% of my slots need to be computer science and 20% of slots need to be maths. Now, short term, currently I'm in the short term thing because I've got 2 exams coming up in under a month. You need to, within your timetable, you should already have a timetable for everything, like time you wake up, time you exercise and such. Mine is planned out to the 5-minute increments. With that in mind, all we're gonna do in the short term is try to fill up as much of our timetable with study time. We're not gonna split it up. We're not gonna break it into 3 work chunks. We're just gonna do as much as we can physically do. Just stuff it in. The reason this is different, so the reason why during the long term we're not stuffing it in, is because we don't want you to burn out at any point. We don't want you to think studying is overwhelming. Because in the long term, you don't have the motivation every day to study for hours and hours because you have this in ages. In the short term, though, you have the intrinsic stress and motivation that you can kind of just stuff your day with as much time as you can productively study. As I said, productive study is deep work study, not study that you're there with a textbook and such. But now, especially that we're in the short term, we need to optimize how we are studying. Okay, what are we studying? How we are studying. So, say you need to do something like learning. I know you need to do it for all of them. Besides, I know some people do drama or something. Besides the point, I'm talking memory learning, things that then you need to put out in a test or a project. Okay, so in the long term, you can be doing some learning, revision, watching videos, blah blah blah. Kind of bullshit stuff like that, but in the short term especially, you really need to optimize it for, okay, if I'm going to study for 4 hours today, I want those 4 hours to be past paper questions, practice questions, coding, the real difficult stuff. Last year, say when I was doing A-levels, it was writing actual essays for economics. It wasn't sitting and watching topic recap videos. No, I would sit down and I would write essays. Do the most difficult task, whatever it is for you and your lesson. It's usually going to be past papers, practice questions, stuff like that, because then your study periods are both shortened because you're going to get fried after a little bit of this. Supposed to kind of sitting there with some music, a drink, reading the textbook with notifications every few minutes. That's not deep studying. If you're doing deep studying and you're stuffing your day with it, you'll only be able to do a little bit. But this is the optimized time. This is the time when your study sessions are doing the difficult things. Now, my favorite method for actually doing it, no matter what it is, if it's some a memory recall for a test or if it's for a project where you need to learn the whole topic, the way I like to do it most is doing a method that I call test, relearn, test, relearn, test. So the way we're gonna do this, the way we're gonna go TRTRT is gonna be you open a document. Okay, so say I need to do psychology, social influence. I'd sit there, okay, minority influence, obedience, conformity, blah blah blah. Write down all the little subtopics. Then I'd go and I'd write everything I remember for this, everything I remember for this, everything I remember for this, all the way down the list until I finished. I'd look over it again once or twice, add a few things in, then I'd go watch a video on every single one of the things. After the video, go in, fill the information on what I forgot. Then I would look at the whole page, try to remember anything else. Then I'd go one last time, watch the video again, or topic recap, or like read the textbook, whatever, and anything I have forgotten, write it down on my list. So now I should have a document that's full, like stuffed full of information that I've like wrote down, checked, wrote down again, checked, wrote down again. It should be like a perfect sheet. The reason this is so much better as opposed to you sit there and you think, okay, yeah, I'll just transcribe what the teacher is saying, or I'll just, whatever the textbook says, I'll write it in like condensed notes. The reason that doesn't work is because your brain is never being challenged, and if it's not being challenged, it doesn't want to remember. Your brain is actively trying to forget as much information as possible. The way we're going to counter that is if we put pressure on it to remember a topic. If we're trying to actively recall, that's what's going to get the memory ingrained into us. Because of that, this test, retest, test, retest, test method is so much more effective, because yes, at the end you'll have an information sheet, but you'll have an information sheet you'll know inside out, bro. Then if you do need, then especially this is useful because, you know, then it's the morning of the exam, you just need to burst through everything. So step 4, we've done, you know, reasoning, long-term, short-term, like exam time. Now you have these massive information sheets that you can just look through and easily know everything. And because you've retested on this exact sheet, you know this sheet already really well. Now, during exam time, never ever, like, you shouldn't do this, never, obviously, for the short term and long term, your timetable should have times for exercise, good sleep, good eating, time with like friends, even if it's one a week, or family. You should have slots like that. Even during exam phase, we still want that. We still want you to be exercising, we still want you to be sleeping, to be eating right. You may think that you're not, no, your sleep for an extra, like losing 1 or 2 hours of sleep isn't going to affect you during the exam, but rereading this topic again is. I'm telling you, bro, being well rested for your exams and being well rested for any projects or presentations or such and such is going to be more important than the 1 or 2 extra hours you would have gotten across, you know, the 8 months leading up to the exam. Even if you started like studying late, that's still, like, not giving up on sleep is important. Now, my dog is getting like excited because probably Amazon at the door or something, and I have to go now anyway. So I really hope this helped you, man. Now get out of here. Let me know what grades you get, and much love.